Well, you know what? But for me, man, I've always been a fan of professional wrestling because the physicality of it, and that kind of thing was always a natural attraction for me. But having watched him on TV and then having to get the opportunity to work with Dusty Rhodes, there's absolutely no one on this planet that will ever have been in this business or ever will be that knows this business better than Dusty Rhodes did. Okay, there's a guy, man, that you could put in the ring, brother. Listen, that can take fans through all of the emotions that they can possibly go through. So there was just tons of knowledge for me to gather from him. So, for me, man, gaining all of that I could from him, and like I said, Ron Bass, Blackjack Motherfucker, all of these guys along the way, Ricky Steamboat, working with all these guys, man, listen to me. It was like a highlight reel for me, for real, coming up the way I did and the path that I took. It couldn't have been any better. So, it took me all around working with guys like John said, Matt Bourne, Steve Curran, oh my gosh, Stan Lane. I could just keep going on and on, right. And then for it to all come together and come full circle, and I wind up working with John in the end. Hey, you don't get a better career than what I had in professional wrestling, okay? Hey, it's thick book, man, for real.
And Ron, also in Mid-South, that's where you got a tag with the dog, right?
Yeah, had the opportunity to go out there, man, work with him, And once again, when we speak of charisma, hey, now Junkyard Dog couldn't throw a drop kick or do an arm drag to save your life. Okay. But he didn't have to. Like you said, I've never seen a guy could just step in the ring and have more charisma and have the people absolutely going into a frenzy before he did anything.
It was like a dog. It was like a dog pound, the old Cleveland dog pound. Him just walking to the ring, everybody start barking. I mean, just the second he would step out of those curtains. This is pre-music days, even, John. I mean, this guy, he'd step out and people would see him, and they just start barking. I mean, this guy was so over with everybody, and the charisma, and like you say, he could. Technique wise, he wasn't the greatest in the world, but he didn't need to be, because all he had to do is go to that center of the ring and take a look around and look at that audience, and boom, they were right on top. They were with him, man.
Unbelievable, man. And he was another guy, man, that he was very open with, wanting to, teach you the real, insides and out of business, and like you just said. He would also, try to tell me, hey, listen, you got all the physical skills, but look, you got to learn how to, put the emotions out there to get with the people, to get them, to sell, as we like to call it in the business, right? How to go about doing things, and that's where I would take a little bit of knowledge from each one of these guys, I'm like a sponge, man, taking it all in, I mean, it was just unbelievable, like I said, man, the journey I've gone in my wrestling career, man, you can't ask for a better journey than the one that I've had. Well, it was absolutely a thrill for me.
The mentorship that you had was just phenomenal. I mean, you take Ernie Ladd sitting in a dressing room. Now, here's a guy that was all pro NFL. I mean, one of the greatest defensive ends of all time. It accomplished work. Played for the great Eddie Robinson at Grambling University. He had to be somebody that you looked up to be able to sit in that dressing room over in the corner and get his, because Ernie was so damn bright with our business. He was a guy, that athlete that come in and could kick the heck out of anybody he wanted to, but he knew it was a business. He knew it was a business, and he knew what he had to do, and he knew what he had to do and to elevate his race in the business, and he did it in such a professional way. You had to look at that man and just gain so much knowledge from the great Ernie Ladd.
Well, absolutely. And you'd be out of your mind, you'd be crazy and, not to do that, right? When you take guys like Ernie Ladd, guys like Junkyard Dog, you got which guys that have had similar backgrounds to me coming out of football, right, and going into this business, right? That's what you want to look at. Okay, now these guys are having levels of success in doing this. Hey, let me just take a look at how they're doing. You know, hey, because it's right. Let me out there fool to look at it. You know, they've made this transition and made it work for them. You know, so yes, I tried to take in as much as I could from each one of them. You know, and luckily for me, man, they all were very, very inviting. You know, to me, man, and wanted to take me in and teach me, you know, things that I should know, not just about in the ring, but how to carry yourself out of the ring, and more importantly, how to carry yourself in the dressing room. Because I don't think a lot of people put a lot of stock in what the dressing room means in its profession. Okay, you don't have dressing room ethics, brother. You won't make it in this. You won't make it in this business. Okay, if you're not liked in that locker room, you're not gonna make it.
You two taught a lot of ethics in the WWF, WWE locker room, I'll tell you.
Hey, Ron.
But none that wasn't warranted at that time.